Hey everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. Today is day 2 of Flippin' Roo's Cottage birthday bonanza. Spent about $170 yesterday, as you would have seen in the previous haul video. Got some more cash from the ATM. Not that I need more stuff, but we're gonna see if we can find some more good things, and flipping for a profit on eBay. So let's go have some fun. Alrighty, so we are on day 2 of the Dater Cottage haul, and to start, we're going to go through the 20-cent box haul that I made. As you probably know from past hauls, I do like these more generic scenes, greetings from, and then they just use these generic scenes, and you can have any city, town, place, whatever listed there. They're not all created equal. Smaller towns tend to do better than the larger ones, but basically at this point, if I see them for less than $1, I pick them up. So these were a no-brainer for me in the 20-cent box. This is from Greetings from Gibson City, Illinois. I'm going to guess Gibson City doesn't look like anything like that. I have no idea. I have never been there. But it's a linen card. So again, 20 cents. No big deal there. Rangoon, West Virginia. I don't come across West Virginia cards too often. Most of the ones I do are Harper's Ferry, and those are a dime a dozen. So I'm hoping that this one is a better town. Again, generic scene, linen, and then I got a second one as well for that same town. This one I probably didn't need to pick up. It's Fleischmann's, New York. Greetings from. Get another linen. I'm pretty sure I have a number of this location sitting in my store already listed. But for 20 cents, I figured I would pick up a couple more. This one, Greetings from Willsboro, New York. A little night scene. The moonlight scenes for places can sometimes be better. Depends how common, obviously, that card is. But there are collectors of the moonlight versions of things. This one does have a crease in the corner there, but otherwise not too bad. Willsboro, New York. Not familiar with that location per se. And we got a little writing on the back. Willsboro, New York, postmark. 1940, I think it is, upside down, backwards, something like that. Keeping with the New York theme, we have Greetings from Lodi, New York. Again, don't know where that is, but another generic scene there with the birch trees and the canoe or rowboat. Again, used as well on the back. I'm always happy to pick up Oneana-related cards. I went to school. I went to undergrad at SUNY Oneana, so I picked up the series of Greetings from West Oneana, New York. And yeah, I'm gonna say this doesn't remind me of Oneana, but nonetheless, these are white border cards. So see a white border around it. But again, generic scenes, same idea. Here's the next one. Yet again. Nice thing about these cards is not only are they almost certainly worth more than 20 cents, as they help bring that cost average down. I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't think I mentioned it. So day 2, I picked up 137 items for a total of $174. So that's a cost average of $1.27 each. In large part thanks to this stack of 20-cent cards. Whereas I picked up less cards on day 1, but paid more on average per card. So, continuing the West Oneanas, I tend to do well with Oneana-related cards. I don't know if these will follow the pattern or not, but I'm intrigued to look them up anyways. All right, this one, again, 20 cents. I have no idea what an ex-wolf is. I have not done the Google on that one yet. It was produced by the Paula Company in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've had that company before. I do okay with these text-based only postcards, which is fitting because some of my best sellers for print-on-demand shirts and hats and things are all text only as well. I've sold postcards that say wet paint or dry paint, something of the sort, and it's just like this. So I don't know. For 20 cents, I figured it was worth a look-see to see if I can figure out what it means. If you know, let me know in the comments below. All right, I do like me some airbrushed cards. This one is a nice Merry Christmas. Got like an open book here with a farm scene, some sort of plant in the background there. Nice little blue-green airbrushed. It is postmarked 1911 from Niles, Michigan, I think that says. December 22nd. To wish you a Merry Christmas from May. To Miss Lillian Steinbauer. So there you go. Another one, nice little holly wreath here. Merry Christmas, and it's on like a book-shaped card. Now it is a proper, fully shaped card, but it does have the little artsy fartsy stuff going on there to make it look like a book, which I thought was pretty interesting. So worth the 20 cents. Unused on the back. Oop, a little too far. Greetings from Sadie Brown is the individual, and all sorts of little message there. But airbrush roses with a little gold gilting around it. Obviously used from Worcester, Ohio, 1909. As I mentioned in the part 1 video, which you have not watched, you should go check that out. That came out a day or two ago. I have been stockpiling stork-related postcards. Now, I listed the 2 from part 1. I will list this one, and if they sell before I make the video, I'll just pull up the listings later. But I do intend on doing a stork video, so I have been looking for the stork cards. I have probably too many for a video at this point anyways, but I'm just rambling now. So this was obviously a stork card. New Baby Girl was presented on April 17th, 12 a.m., 12 something. 9 pounds. It was a good sized baby. I was bigger. And then it's Ethel Bullard. Anyways, but yeah, so a nice little stork card there, sent to Bristol, Vermont. All right, I just liked how, I don't know, I just like the whole kind of look of this one. It's like a masking of a winter scene here. You kind of see that sort of thing a lot in real photo postcards. So I thought it was a nice little crossover here. Christmas greetings, again for 20 cents. I thought it was interesting enough. Written on the back, Dear Sister, Walton, New York. I don't see date on that. Well, December 22nd, but I don't see a year on that. But early 1900s almost certainly. There were a couple real photos in the 20 cent box. Now, obviously nothing wild and crazy. Got a palm tree here, obviously a very soft faded image, but the ship in the background was really what did it for me. It gives sort of a Bahamas vibe, but I don't know that for sure by any means. But I thought the ship with the palm tree means or a coconut tree or something of the sort, I should be able to get 10, 15, 20 out of that. Kodak stamp box, which I don't know. I don't know if the Kodak stamp box has anything. 1950 to present, so quite the range on that one. And then this was the other one. Feels like it might be a slight double exposure. I don't know, but you got a person outside, sort of a lean-to house, a leaning fence. Nothing crazy. It's probably a $10 real photo. But for 20 cents, I figured why not. Azo, 1918 to 1930, give or take. I don't often do that great with the Chrome Disney cards. They tend to be more common. But this one was for Space Mountain, and of all the Chrome Disneys I've had before, I don't remember having this one. And maybe I have, and it's probably a nothing burger. But again, for 20 cents, being one that I had not recognized before, I figured I would pick it up. Not to mention, I like space-related things. I'm not going to keep that one for my collection, but I thought it was interesting enough to pick up. And it's got a Dear Mom message from Disney, which is neat as well. All right, this is the last of the 20 cent box. Little Fern Fossil. I can't remember if I had this one already. Again, for 20 cents, I was going to pick it up. If I do have it, I will list it. If I don't have it, then it's part of my collection. And there you go. You can just pause it if you would like to read about the fern. Alrighty, let's take a pause while I get to the next section. All right, moving on. We are in a $2 box now. This box kind of gave me a lot of difficulty because while $2 is not a lot of money per se, it is sort of that borderline for a lot of different cards. So I had pulled out a bunch, and then I ended up whittling down to what you will end up seeing here. I picked up a few red Santas. Santas are always some of the better of the Christmas postcards to have out there. Usually the colored Santas, so green Santas or purple Santas, brown Santas, and I'm referring to the suits, are better than the classic red, but still collectible. So I grabbed a handful at the $2 here. You can see this one getting ready to go down the chimney. I'm going to guess these are probably $10, $12 Santa cards. I don't know off the top of my head. That's just my guess and sort of where I was thinking when I picked these up. So not a huge profit margin. Again, I'm at $1.27 cost average, so that helps a little bit. But in any case, it's nice to have, along with the copious amount of Christmas cards that I have in the store, to make sure I keep the Santas stocked as well. So here we have Santa. Looks like he's going through a Christmas list here with a couple kids. I like the little pull elephant down here. Definitely gives it a more vintage vibe, which obviously it is vintage, but you know what I mean. This was a Whitney postcard. Santa go down chimney again. Big old bag of toys. Just a big old rosy cheek Santa there. Let's see. Hang it all. What can I say better than Merry Christmas? Sure. Anyways, and then this is the same as we saw the first Santa, but a different message on that one. So those are the Santas. Again, $2 each. Maybe not the best buy, but I think I'll do fine on them. This one, obviously, we'll look at the elephant in the room. It's heavily worn. We got a big old chunk here missing. We got creases throughout. Got a little flea bite there and some more creases and so forth. This is probably not going to be a high-end Halloween card, though Halloween cards do tend to go for a fair amount of money. And I don't come across them too often. So I figured I might be able to get $10 out of this, even with the condition issues. If not, at least I have some Halloween cards to populate the shop a little bit. Yeah, I thought about it, but I'm not seeing this particular one before either. And even damaged, I've done decently with Halloween cards in the past. Now I'm going to pause it here so I can flip through. I have another Good Luck Swastika card. Again, I don't know how YouTube handles the Good Luck version. I know they are supposed to be allowable on eBay. They sell for decent money as long as they're the pre-World War II use of it, back when it was a good luck symbol. But this one, it literally says swastika, good luck, and it's got light and love and life and other thingamabobs on it. But I just don't. If you want to see it, it'll be in the store at some point. If you're interested, let me know, and I can let you know when it's live. But let me take a quick pause here. We'll show you the back. It does have a little bit of the history here. You can pause it, and if you want to, Now, if you want to read it, you can pause it and so forth. But yeah, it's a new topic for me. I'm testing a couple for $1 or $2. I figured it was worth testing a little bit. All right, so they had a whole bunch of this style in the $2 box. It's the butterfly with the weird ass child face, and I have a number of these listed in the store already. I got them from Dave F. Brother in the past. The ones I have, I believe, have glitter embellishments. And I have like a purple one and a green one. I may have an orange one, I don't recall. But I don't remember having the blue one. So I left the colors behind that I knew I have had. And I'm pretty sure I still have. I don't think they've sold yet. I think I have them listed around 14 or 15. I'm guessing, if my memory serves, which, anywho. But I didn't recognize this color as one I had before. And I don't remember there being the little banner on it. So I figured I'd pick this one up. It says, to my friend, and I don't know who the friend is. Era? I don't know. Someone. Ina? Miss Ina? Eva? Eva? Eva. That's a V. There we go. Doing good. Preston Hall, 1910, New York. Anyways, message there. Weird card, but I like it. The wings are done nicely. All right, this one you're not going to really be able to tell from the image too well, but it's got like it is embossed, and it's got like a sort of velvety felt kind of applique going on here with the blue and the pink in this particular case. Again, the $2 boxes had a bunch of those, and I had picked out 3 or 4 that I liked. And not knowing really how these cards do, I ended up paring it down to just this one because you have lovely woman, bright pink, bright blue, firing a pistol, revolver of some sort. Horse not so happy. Even in the background, you got what looks to be more women with a lasso and so forth. So a very interesting theme for the time. And I think Flip and Rue actually went through and picked up some of the my putbacks of this style. So I know where these cards are. If this one turns out to be a good moneymaker, I can go back and see if the other ones are still there. That's the nice thing about Date or Cottage is for the most part I can sample a series and more often than not go back and pick up the rest if I would like to. Like I picked up more of the hand painted, as you saw in video one. Um, Obviously, there's no guarantee, but it's not like Whatnot or eBay or something like that where it's probably going to be gone pretty quick. Um, so embossed there, I have no idea. Now silhouette cards are supposed to be good. I've not had too many. I'm thinking the ones that are really the most valuable are probably the more one of a kinds, where it's a silhouette of a specific family member or whatever. But nonetheless, it was a silhouette style. Um, the picture in my heart, cute. Copyright 1905. I figured for the $2 I'd give it a try. Now you can see there's obviously discoloration on the outside and then some on the back as well. We shall see. And then the last of the $2 box are these next 2 cards. I like these pencil illustration style female portraits. I've picked them up before. I usually like to pick them up for less than 2. But I thought the 2 I'm going to show you were pretty nice because they have the Native American motif to it. Sometimes you see these signed. Yeah, this one is signed. Okay. 1911. I'm not sure exactly who the name is, but it looks like maybe a New York location. Some of these you'll see signed with Cobb, has a very similar style, COBB. A little bit of writing on the back there. 1912 is when it was sent. And then again, this one here. This one, yeah, that might have been part of his signature, but I'm not seeing anything obvious on this one. But anyways, 2 beautiful Native American women's style pencil art pieces there. So Brooklyn, New York, 1913 is the cancellation on that one. Yeah, let's take a quick pause, and then I will grab the next batch. Alrighty, we are into the dollar box. Nice little stack here. This one is what's called a rebus card, I believe is the term. Basically, sort of these little picturesque riddles. So, I would like to be your match. Cute. I don't think they're necessarily high value cards. I picked up a few from Flip and Rue a while back, which I still need to list. So what's going to happen is when I go to list this one, I will pause the Dater listings to list the other ones, so it's all done in a row. But for $1, I figured I would add this to the 4 or 5 that I have waiting to go. Let's see. Undivided back. Picked up another Santa. This one's got more of a dwarf kind of feel to him, but it's got a candy cane and a miniature trumpet, I guess. But yeah, not bad for $1. As we talked about, I'm doing the Storks. This one is probably the least exciting Stork card I've ever picked up. It's got more of a comic feel than anything else, but this will serve Dad right. He always plays the daily double, if I could speak. So we got twins coming. So that niches it a little bit more. Linen card there, unused on the back. I try to pick up devil-related cards when I can find it. Find them, they do tend to do well. This one's obviously a much more comical take on the devil than you might see. But hello from way down deep, with a sort of a cutesy, weird, fugly kind of looking devil. Again, for a buck, figured that was a no brainer. Writing there, I don't often look at the messages when I'm buying, unless it's a clear and easy thing to read. I'm usually looking more at the front, and then sometimes the messages end up being a bonus later. So you saw this card in the first Dater Cottage haul, part one. That was from on the back. It had greetings from Poland, Poland, New York. This one is just a typical Tickner Brothers back. So this one will stay in my collection. I will resell, or have actually already scheduled the listing for the Greetings from Poland, New York version, because I have no affiliation with Poland, New York. So this is a better fit for my personal collection. This one's staying with me as well. I was trying to not buy so much for myself day two, because I did pick up a good amount for myself on day one. But there were a few at these lower price points that I decided, okay. My Christmas greetings. I don't think I have too many Christmas kitty cat postcards. I don't know what's going on with this like red, very very red tiger mane looking thing in the center there, but lion mane, not tiger mane. Anyways, this one will be probably one of the cards that I put up in the cat gallery wall around Christmas, and then I'll change it out with cat cards from different holidays throughout the year. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. Used on the back, but I honestly not too worried about that. And then I want somebody to love me. Black cats, little music going on there. I like the mice, the mices on the parasol umbrella there. Just a cute card overall. Again, for a buck, figured it's a way of increasing my collection without breaking the bank. Undivided back there, Sandy Hill, New York, 1907 cancellation. This one, let's do a little rotation there. Obviously, airbrushed, as you know, is something I like. Got the nice pink roses, green leaves going on there. It's a birthday greetings, but then you got a nice mill going on here. Country scene, got a boat in the water. I've not seen this one before, so it's probably only like $7, $8, $10, if even that. But for a buck, I was happy to add it to the store. St. Louis, Missouri, 1910. And then we got a message on the back that I'll look at later. Oops. Well, another swastika card. Good luck, swastika card. Postal telegraph. Yada, yada, yada. We're just going to move on. Pretend that didn't happen. There were some real photos in the dollar box. Now, if this was probably one of the better of the real photos in the dollar box, it obviously does have some condition issues on the corner here, but family portrait outside, everyone looking happy, smiling, which is unusual, and then a cute old doggo who's looking to do something else other than stand here for the photo. But overall, a nice piece there. Psycho, so that's what, 1902, 1904 to 1920s. This one, I like the masking, the maple leaf style. Is that a maple leaf? The leaf style masking, nonetheless. Mother, presumably, and child. Outdoor portrait. The ivy in the back. No stamp box for dating purposes in the back, but I'm going to guess early 1900s. House scene here. I typically stay away from the houses unless there are people involved, or some sort of human life activity, animal life activity, something more than just a building, or if there's an address associated. This one, we do have the gentleman sitting on the front steps there with the cute little puppers, and then presumably the wife in the doorway. And I'm honestly not sure if I saw this at the time. Some of these things I see after I scan them in. But we do have a Frank N. Reed ice cream sign on the front porch, suggesting this might also be an ice cream parlor kind of thing going on. And I don't know, that just makes it even better. I might be able to do some provenance because of that. But again, 1904 to 1920s based on the Psycho stamp box on the back. All right, lovely lady here on the front. She's a little washed out, but not too bad. Big old hat, very happy. Just kind of sitting on the front steps there. Velox stamp box, 1901 to 1920s. Again, these were all $1, so easy money on these. Some of these will probably end up selling in the $15 range. I'll probably list them all at 20, see if I get that or if I'll have to take offers. This one, it's nothing wild and crazy, but it had the diamond-shaped masking. I like the various maskings. They just add they're a little different than your standard studio portrait. And you got a nice little floral hat going on there. Nothing wild and crazy on that one. Again, the Psycho, 1904 to 1920s. Two rather wide-eyed looking individuals here. We do have a studio mark here, Gates. She's wearing glasses. They both got big old hats, nice overcoats. That's Azo 1904 to 1918. And one of them here is presumably Ethel Roberts. So we got a little bit of ID. We don't know which one it is, but and I should point out this one does have a little bit of condition issues, some creasing, but it shouldn't hurt it too bad. The image itself is still fairly crisp and good. Older lady here. I do pick up some of the older men and women, just because you don't necessarily see them as often as sort of the middle-aged younger individuals. Lifespan not being as long as it is in more modern times. She's got glasses, nice necklace, sitting in a wicker chair there, studio portrait, oval vignette. Azo 1904 to 1918 on the back. Yeah, just a nice couple. Nothing wild and crazy. Again, $12, $14 probably in the end. Unless, yeah. We do got a studio mark here. What is that? Marshall Morels? Harrells? I don't know. I'll have to look a little closer, but we got a studio mark. That might add a few bucks to the end total. Anytime you have a location or a name, some sort, that can help. I put most of the children in the dollar box back. It's probably a weird and not nice thing to say, but there are a lot of children real photo postcards out there. A lot of them are slow movers. But I did pick up the ones again that had the studio marks or any sort of ID. This one, La France Studios, I think is what it is, in Latuna, Pennsylvania. Cute kid, but really I picked it up more for the studio mark. Azo 1914 or 1918 rather to 1930 there. Another cute kid sitting in an oversized chair. This one have a mark as well. I'm not seeing a mark on this one. This one did have a message on the back, which maybe is why I picked it up. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I'm afraid this is not good enough. This is not good enough. Could you bring the little chap down earlier in the day? The light was too bad. So an interesting photographer perspective message there. They were very much dependent on natural light for early photography, which even still today, natural light is usually superior to artificial light for photography, but they were definitely far more dependent because they didn't have the big studio lights. They were doing a lot more flash photography with magnesium and other things that had a habit of exploding and burning studios down, so not so good. Another kid here. This one does have the blind studio mark here. Looks like a Washington State mark there. Potze Studio, perhaps? I don't know. Obviously, some condition issues here. You might actually be able to see it better than I can. Yeah, Ellen something. Ellensburg, Washington, maybe. And then that's the studio, Potsky. Anyways, kid smiling on a bench. Got a little clover there, or what's that? Yeah, clover as far as playing cards. Anyways, writing on the back, Azo 1904 to 1918. Probably not anything wild and crazy unless the message is something interesting beyond Dear Sister. Got your letter, will, I don't know, something, write it soon, read soon, I don't know. Let's see. Another oval vignette studio portrait, H.W. Donner in Wisconsin. Kakona, Wisconsin? I don't know. Let's see, 1904 to 1918. And then the last one from the dollar box, just a older gentleman outside, nice beard, interesting pose, good scenery. Nothing wild and crazy on that one. Again, a lot of these will probably be, I'll list them all probably at the $19.99 starting on auction, just in case there's something I'm not seeing and it takes off. But I suspect most of them will sell buy it now on offer for something a little bit less than that, probably in the $15 range. All right. It was at this point that I found what is probably the best dealer in Data Cottage, where there are a lot of cards, a lot of real photo postcards in the $1, $2, $3 range, all organized by topics. And that's where I did my major damage for the day. Now, I did get 10% off because if you spend over $100 with this particular vendor, you save 10%. And that was not hard at all for me to do. But that'll be the next segment. It'll probably be 2 segments here in this video. But this is where most of the money was spent on day 2, and it's also where most of the money will be made back on day 2. So there's some fun ones in here. So let's take a look. Alrighty, so as I indicated, discovered this dealer this vendor at Dater that's been there for every other time I've been there. I just haven't shopped that particular room that much before. But they may change how I do a lot of my sourcing going forward, because I was finding a lot of fabulous cards, as you will see. I only went through a handful of the boxes. They have like 3, like the shelving units I have behind me. They had like 3 of those filled, and I didn't even. Maybe I did a shelf, in equivalence, and a lot of them were $1, $2, $3, $4. So, if I'm buying on Whatnot, I'm typically paying $3 plus 75-cent shipping plus tax for a single card. If I'm shopping in the similar manner than I'm shopping at Dater. So I will not be going back right away because I have a lot to go through. I need to build the coffers up a little bit, but I will definitely be visiting this particular vendor for my real photos going forward. But anyways, let's get into it. I started off in, I think, the costume box. So individuals in theory in some sort of costume. This one, studio portrait, he's holding some gloves. He's got some sort of big old hat with a star on it. No idea. Some little regalia there. Ornamental sword. Big old boots. Paid $2 for this one. No date indicator, stamp box, or anything like that on the back. So probably early 1900s. This one I love. Again, it's a costume setting. But you got all these women in costume. This lady here is holding a big old shield. Looks like maybe a phoenix or something of the sort on there. She got a choker as well. Some more peasant-y kind of costumes going on there. Interesting. ASO 1904 to 1918 stamp box on the back. I'll have to do research. I'm going to guess $20 for those, or that's typically where I start things. They might have a better value if I wanted to wait longer. Just like on day 1, I did a lot of selecting of real photos with dogs in it. I just sold one yesterday, not from the Dater Cottage Hall. It was something I picked up on Whatnot, but I just sold one, a studio portrait, woman with dog, for $30 last night on auction. You'll see that in a future What Sold video. And then I'm assuming the same person because it's the same. It looks to be the same dog, but in this case, studio portrait, man with dog, currently has a bid of $25. So. Plus ground advantage shipping. So I'm doing well with the dog real photo postcards, and I don't think that's particularly surprising. There's a lot of people who love their dogs out there. But anyways, what do we got going on here? We got a dog, looks like tongues out or some sort of bow wow happening there, but big old group portrait. Looks like to be predominantly a lot of older women, some older men in the background there, and some kids up front. including this one who seems to be up to some sort of shenanigans. Looks like they're doing tug of war with a stick or something. But a nice, fun image overall. You got the house in the background. 1904 to 1918. Oxford, New York, written on the back in pencil by presumably, I don't know if it was the dealer I bought it from or a dealer prior to that, presumably with some sort of insider information as to the source of the cards, like an estate sale or something like that. This one was giving me, Charles Darwin's vibes. It's not, but just nice oval vignette, nice long white beard, Velox back. Where's my cheat sheet? There we go. 1901 to 1920, give or take. All right, so this is cyanotype. It was a type of photo development where you get the blue hues to it. Cyanotypes are not as common as a regular real photo, and they're not as common in regular snapshots either. So as long as the price is reasonable, I do pick them up. And I just realized I haven't been telling you the prices on these ones. This one I paid $1 for. But we got two gentlemen outside, and then a youth there. Looks like got a tree on his back, like miniature Christmas tree, little bush. I don't know. He's got maybe a smoking pipe, got a little scally cap on, which missing mine. But it was an interesting masking too, just sort of a weird ass blob. And then we got some writing here on the front, which I'll look at later. Undivided back, Brockton, Massachusetts. Looks like maybe 1906. All right, back to the puppers. Paid $1 for this one as well. What was that, a fox terrier or something of the sort? Cute dog, anyways. And then we got these young men. He's got a pew pew in his hands. He's smoking a cig. He's also smoking a cig. You can actually see the puff of smoke coming out, which is kind of a nice little fun bonus. Standing on the front porches there. He might have a pew pew there as well, it looks like. Not as clear, but I'm pretty sure he is. He's got thick gloves, so it's probably cold out. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a pew pew behind his back, but hunting. And second from right is Grampy Schlosser. So a little bit of ID on that one. Paid $1 for this one. So one of the things that was a nice surprise for this vendor is a lot of the cards had more than one price on it. So there was a little confusion at first, but the Flippin' Ruse, I think it was actually Mr. Rue, went out and asked someone of authority. And eventually we did learn, and there was we did finally see a message like hidden in the back of one of the boxes that if there's more than one price, then the lesser price is the price that goes. So, for example, this one had a $4 and a $1 price tag. Much happier to pay the 1 than the 4 when you're buying a large stack of cards. So, good old doggo here. Looks like it's would like to be anywhere else, but for the most part behaving. And then you got a bunch of gentlemen of various ages with one young woman up there at the top. I don't know if it's school, fraternity, family, exactly what's going on, but again, I picked it up mostly for the dog. And actually, maybe the back actually gives the answer for us. The Dana Press Club, Dana House, Columbia, Missouri, October 16th, 1910. I'll have to look up what that is because I have no idea, but hopefully there is some history on that. But that'll definitely be something I put in the title and or item specifics because it will certainly attract a certain type of buyer. All right, $2 on this one, really breaking the bank. But again, good old doggo here. I love the speckling pattern on them. Looks like they had to be coerced there a little bit to stay. But then everyone else is just great too. You got some lovely hats going on, good expressions with the kids. I don't know if this girl is, maybe she's got a cat or a stuffed animal or something in her hand. You got a newborn who's knocked out, presumably with mom. Got some suspenders going on there in the rocking chairs. It's just a great overall rural farmstead kind of image there. And 1904 to 1918, based on the stamp box. All right, another puppers. This pupper is getting a little talking to from the missus there, and I think the puppers is ready to ready to play more than listen. What a great image. Got some other women here. Looks like we got some hand holding. Some young girl. She looks like she's not having any fun. Little pot there. Some more kiddos. Just a fun over. So it looks like they're in the development of doing a proper photograph, but we got more of a candid view of it. And it looks like maybe a foreign car, France, Belgium, Canada, one of those probably. I'll have to do a little bit of deciphering to see if I can figure it out there. Um, all right. I think that's a real dog, like a real bulldog, English bulldog or something of the sort. But I don't know. It almost looks fake. But a big old sturdy dog in the family or church group photo here. Certainly a lot of older folks, a lot of older women with various big hats, a few younger men and children in the mix there. But really the dog was the reason. The dog was the whole reason behind this one. Paid $1 for that. 1904 to 1918. Again, another dog, fox terrier, Boston terrier, something of the sort. Cute doggo outside. Nice little family shot, or at least we got 4 women and a young child. Interesting little masking. Nothing wild and crazy there. Paid $1. The Solio back is 1903 to 1920s. Dog on a big old rock. Let's see. We do have a little bit of writing here. Looks like Harrisburg, New York, or something like that. A nice family picture at, again, I think Harrisburg, New York. But yeah, everyone's smiling, having a good time. Dogs not looking the right way, but clearly having fun as well. It's a little out of focus, a little blurry, but a great image, especially for $2 on that one. That is the Ezo Square, so 1927 to 1940s. This seems to be, I'm noticing, a common motif where in these earlier real photo postcards, the group shots, they would line up and everyone has a hand on the shoulder. I'm not sure what the meaning behind that is, but it's certainly something I've seen a lot. And again, we got a nice sleeping puppers with a little speckling going on there. The child seems to be the least excited one of the bunch. I'm not sure if these are uniform hats going on there, but a nice outdoor shot for $2. No age indicator on the back. This one was nice for multiple reasons. Again, we have the dog there, a little out of focus, but we also have the nice bicycle. So we got some cross collecting there. I didn't even realize until I was scanning this, excuse me, we got a bonus dog. And who doesn't like a bonus dog, especially when it's our little puppers being held up like that in the background? It's awesome. But yeah, a bunch of gentlemen here, very well mustached. A couple young boys in the front, but it's an all male portrait. You got another bike in the back here, so not bad for $1. And information on the back, Dear Dorothy, and I'm sure, hopefully, maybe there will be something. Cycling Club, there we go. So we get a little bit more information as to what we're looking at, and hopefully it gets even more specific as I go through. Nice old fluffy pup here. Is a bit more working class, rural, blue collar than some of the previous images we looked at. People looking a bit more rough around the edges, but a lovely family shot nonetheless. Paid $2 for this one. Got a old sort of wooden fence here that is somehow holding this guy's weight up, which is impressive. Kid in suspenders or overalls with the dog there. Tent in the background. Interesting, fun image. Again, no indication as age on the back, but early 1900s almost for certain. You're catching the theme. The theme of this trip was pick up all the doggo real photos. So here we got another doggo, a little out of focus, but family portrait, front porch, bunch of kiddos. Just a nice shot overall. Paid $1 for this one. Velox, so 1901 to 1920. Now this one is similar to something I listed recently. You got some sort of bathing or swimming going on here. Some adults here and a few kids as well. It's clearly swimming and or bathing by a bridge in a stream. So, Cruxo, I think that's early 1900s. I don't have that one on my cheat sheet, but I have come across that before. This one is your gratuitous dog butt. So you got spotted dog butt there, and then a older group of folks here. This one looks like maybe holding a bottle of some sort, but arm in arm. It's a sweet photo, regardless. Dog butt bonus. Azo 1918 to 1930. Keeping up with the bow wows. We got another speckled puppers here. Again, everyone's hands on shoulder, up nice and close, but smiling nicely. Everyone's clearly having a good time. Nice intimate shot. You can see the blinds going on in the background. Interesting, the blinds seem to be on the outside of the window. It's different. And no indicator of much on the back there. All right, so this one is fun. I paid $1 for this one. So this is nice because we have somewhat of location information. We got the Headley House, apparently a private hotel, and we got some women sitting in the chairs here, some older gentlemen in the doorway there with their cigars or cigarettes, and this woman here has got a nice little lab type puppers, looking very cute, and very much blank back there. We'll do a couple more, then we'll take a quick break here. As I mentioned in the previous segment, I like getting the interesting masking real photos. So here we have heart-shaped woman studio portrait. Berta, or it looks like it says down in the corner there. We got a Noco back, which is 1907 to 1920s. And I don't know if it's the same woman or not, but certainly the same style masking, same signature or studio mark in the bottom there, and the same postal in the back. All right, this one, another outdoor photo, $2. Looks like a chihuahua kind of thing, little rat dog. But two women, two men out. Got a nice garden in the background. Just a nice overall rural scene. The Velox 1901 to 1920s. This pupper is doing a woo, which is lovely. I love a dog doing dog things. But nice oval vignette, a little discoloration on the bottom, but I don't think it takes away too much. Nice family portrait, happy little child here. We got a smoking pipe there, smoking pipe here. A nice fedora. Overall, nice image. Paid $1 for that one. Azo 1904 to 1918, and it says Sandy Creek, which is probably there's probably a lot of Sandy Creeks out there, but it gives me at least some starting point. This one I only paid $2 for, which I think is a bargain. But clearly you have a crowd of folks watching what I can only imagine is a massive fire of some sort. I mean, I suppose it's potentially a volcanic eruption, but I really think fire fits the bill for this one. And clearly they're watching from some sort of rural structure. No information on the back to help identify the fire. 1918 to 1930, though. But I just thought that was very dramatic and certainly worth, what did I say, $2? Yeah, $2. I don't really know what to make of this one. Paid $2 for this one as well. I'm assuming some sort of love my street. Some sort of church scene, perhaps. But we got these gentlemen holding busts or statues or whatever. Some of them holding some open books. I don't know, Bibles, hymnals, something of the sort. Got the doors here. This little Sherlock Holmes style hat. That's probably one of the books. Got some markings on it, but I can't make it out. But it was really the three bus heads here that kind of grabbed my attention. Azo 1904 to 1918 on that one. This one's got some nice pioneer piratey vibes. Reminds me of my older swashbuckling fencing teaching brother. Check him out. He teaches in Boston if you're looking for some fencing lessons. But anyways, it's got some period looking garb. It's got a bottle, whiskey, rum, something of the sort. one of those fancy canes that was probably more for show than anything else. Boots, big old tricorner hat. Is that a tricorner hat? It's tricorn, but anyways, fancy hat. Nice embroidery on the sleeve and the front there of the cloak. So nice piece. No age indicator on the back. It does say British made. So take that as you will. We'll take a pause after this one. This came from the same vendor. I think it was the only non-real photo I picked up from them. QSL card, which of course you know I like the QSLs. I picked this one up specifically because of the German Shepherd on the front. I do have more than one German Shepherd collector who frequents the store. So for $1, I figured why not. Based out of New York City, Manhattan there. You get the name of the sender, who I presume is the individual on the front with the dog, but I don't know that for certain. And there's the back. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll continue on. We still have a good stack to go here of more real photo postcards. All right, continuing on with the real photo goodies here. I think this one also came out of the costume box. I'm not certain on that, but anyways, paid $1 for this one. Definitely looks like at least to me, it looks like a faux mustache and faux hair. But in any case, interesting cap. Gives me like a UK vibe, but I don't know. But ceremonial type sword there. Definitely has more of a studio portrait costume kind of feel to it. I know I've seen the stamp box before, but I don't remember off the top of my head its age or location indicator. But for $1, figured why not. This one, I just loved that coat. I mean, that is a fur coat if you've ever seen one. Super puffy. I'm sweating just imagining wearing that. But beautiful woman, nice hat, lovely coat here. Studio portrait. Azo back 1918 to 1930. Paid $2 for her, which I think is more than fair. And again, cost average $1.27. So we had a brief break from the Bow Wows, but now we're back to the Bow Wows here. This one, I don't know, Schnauzer. I really don't know my dog breeds. I'm sorry. Nice scruffy little scruffer here, looking cute. Looking, I see. She's got a ball in her hand. I wonder why the dog's looking that way. But everyone's happy. Everyone's having a good time. It's a great shot. It's a little out of focus, a little soft, but really nice. Not bad for $2. There's that stamp box again. This one I like a lot. You got a nice classic family portrait, front porch, everyone looking severe, some looking happier than others. And then you got this little kid sitting in what to me looks like what it looks like to be like a medical bag, doctor's bag, but maybe not. It does appear like there might be some legs on there, so maybe that's a thing I'm not familiar with, but it certainly gave me the doctor bag vibes. But anyways, just the head popping out there was great. And I don't know if I even noticed, but there's a dog, it looks like there, not looking the right way. But there's just a lot of fun going on here. Nice front porch image. As of 1904 to 1918. Keeping with the dog theme, this one knows what's up. It's looking straight into the camera, as is everyone, quite looking severe, if not somewhat concerned. But good little puppers there. Outdoor image, no indicator there as of the age, or at least not one that I'm most obvious with. Another good little puppers here, family portrait, boy holding mom's hand, and then older sister presumably holding the chair in the back, and little black puppers getting ready to pounce. So this image, again, no stamp box indicator there. This one is one that stays with me, at least for now. No, probably for a while. Outdoor, again, family portraits. A little out of focus, obviously, a little washed out. She's got the big hand muffs going on. This little kid's got white and black, white and gray kitty. Got some nice mustaches going on. And then this young girl also has a kitty as well, along with their muffs. So nice winter outdoor image. I don't know what this mess is here in the front. You got some of the ivy or ropes or something going on in the background. Nice little image, 1904 to 1918. Back to the Bow Wows. Another Porsche again, a little shaky out of focus, but a nice family portrait with the dogs there. 1904 to 1918. This one was interesting. So clearly we got some sort of house cabin structure going on. I like the color blocking that's going on there. I'm not sure what that style is. It's not something I've seen before. And then we got, of course, the family here. Uh, Mom and dad there, and we got the kids. I don't know what that kid's holding. I definitely don't know what this kid's holding. Almost, I don't know. I mean, my knee jerk, it was like a smoker for beehives, which honestly, the the house or structure behind looks like a giant beehive to me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. If you know what that might be, please let me know. I love to learn from y'all, and y'all are a wonderful wealth of knowledge. But yeah, I just liked the whole feel on that card. I paid $1 for it. No information on the back. Just a nice older studio portrait. Love the guy's beard. Obviously, I am not beard averse, so I do pick those up when I can see it or find them. Nice older couple. Paid $1 for that one. A little bit of information on the back. 1907. Looks like it's a foreign card, probably German. Um, and I might be able to translate that later, but not at the moment. This one I really loved because, well, for one, it's just a nice outdoor portrait of this couple, anyways, but you have some wonderful geology. This is what we would call columnar basalt. So, as you can see, you have these nice, quite visible columns here. And these columns form in a hexagonal shape, which you can sort of see from some of these falling blocks here. You got your hexagon shaped going on there. And so hexagonal basalt forms during lava flows. You basically have lava flowing across the surface. You see this in Iceland, Hawaii, more than likely. Certainly in the UK, what's it called? The giant highway or giant walkway or giant road or something like that. Causeway? Giant causeway? Might be causeway. But anyways, as that lava, the basaltic lava is flowing along and cooling, as it's contracting, it for science reasons makes these hexagonal shapes, and you get these columnar basalt. So, from a geology perspective, I had to pick this one up and add it to. I will sell this one. It's not going in my collection. I may put a premium on it. I don't know, but I paid $1 for it. I love it. It's probably a UK card, would be my guess, but not exactly sure. Let's see, what are we looking at time? I Mondays I go to my dad's for dinner, so I got about 15 minutes, and then have to take a pause and finish this later. But anyways, this one I was looking at. I liked the whole vibe going on. Interesting looking gentleman with like a corduroy kind of train conductor suit going on there. I'm not sure exactly. Holding like a book or something that has a bicycle on it, maybe, which was already interesting enough. Beautiful young woman. And then I was like, wait a minute. There's a bonus cat on her shoulder. So obviously this one is now mine. Paid $1 for it. This will stay with me. It will be part of the digital download shop at some point. I don't know if it will be a solo, if I'll put it in a lot at some point. Again, I will have that link down below if you didn't check it out in the last video. I will do a little video talking about it more at some point, but it's still a work in progress. But anyway, Solio stamp box on the back, so 1903 to 1920s on that one. All right. This one was interesting. It definitely has like an Old Orchard beach vibe, certainly a coastal boardwalk kind of thing going on. But walking the dog, woman, husband and wife, presumably. He's got a cane. You see some signage at some shops and vendors and stuff going on in the background. The back does confirm, or suggest anyways, that we are beachside somewhere. I don't necessarily actually think it's Old Orchard Beach in Maine, but certainly a beach resort somewhere, somehow. I'll have to look up that information to get a better idea, and I'll read the message as well. but paid $1 for that one. Back into the costume lot, I believe. I don't really know, jester, court, something of the sort. But interesting striped outfit, big old chain, goatee, mustache. I'm assuming real, but I don't really know. A little zhuzh on the hair there. Nice cane. Yours sincerely, Norma Valet, Norma Vault. I don't know, something of the sort. We do got a blind studio mark there. Looks like New York, perhaps. Newcastle. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out at some point. And there's your stamp box on the back there, TLC, TIC. All right. This is where I got a little excited. I found a box that was nursing and medicine. Now, postmortem is definitely a big collector area, and Rue took a look at that box. So certainly check out her store. I know she's listed already some of her postmortem cards. I skipped that box this time because I was already in deep at that point. But it'll be a box I will revisit in the future to see what is left in there. But this was one in the nursing box. Now, obviously, we have some creasing condition issues here, but I don't know if we're looking at a autopsy or if we're looking at surgery. I'm leaning towards surgery based on the fact that this individual seems to be pouring some sort of medicine in a cup or whatever, and you got another bottle here. But it does seem to be some sort of abdominal, some sort of surgery procedure going on there. Soft image, but I paid $3 for it. I think it's more than worth it. 1904 to 1918 based on the stamp box, and then got occupational medicine written on the top there. Some sort of nursing portrait. I don't know if these are all doctors or all nurses, medical professionals of some sort, I would presume. She's clearly got the Red Cross kind of vibe going on there on the front. And it says from Jack to Mother, indicates Jack is the second in from the window, top row. And then it mentions that number 2 is who the number 2 is. Just had the fever when this was taken at Malta, I think that says. So a little bit of information I might be able to do some work with. Just a studio portrait of a nurse there. Paid $2 for her. Again, nurses do have a pretty good collector base. They certainly go for good money over on Whatnot. That one does have some information on the studio. I'm assuming UK, but I will look that up. This one, I'm assuming sickly man in bed with nurse and daughter or something of the sort. It's not incredibly clear. Clearly, we're in a big ornamental bed. It does say Mabel, Uncle Ed, and then Miss Dyke. Miss Dyke, I presume, is the nurse or help in the situation. That's certainly the vibe I got from that image. Another nurse here, looks like pouring medicine in a cup, perhaps, outside a front porch or something of the sort. Dear little Jean, little John, I don't know. What a sweet little surprise came in message, something Christmas. You can pause that if you want to try to interpret the rest. I will read the rest of it later. Also from the nursing box, I pay $3 for this one. Looks like we got some military men getting some care there. Clearly a head wound or face wound for this chap, but he doesn't seem to be too disturbed being surrounded by the women here. He's getting his shoulder looked at. Probably a doctor here in the background. Oops. Yeah, I doubt I'll be able to decipher anything from there. Looks like maybe switch there, but so probably nothing useful. But clearly a medical scene. Circa World War I, World War II. I am not sure. We certainly got some chevrons on the sleeve there. Says London. Again, I don't know what to base that on. But if I, take that as word, then we got a little provenance. Nursing portrait group photo here. Got a couple creepers in the background, but just like this woman's holding a creepy ass doll, because why not? A little washed out, but not too bad. You can see some little insignias on some of their collars. We got a little watch brooch there. So nice image. $3 on $3 on that one as well. Says Nurses Psycho, 1904 to 1920s. Back to the Bow Wows and some hunters. They both got some pew pews. He's got a smoking pipe. This dog, hunting dog, hound dog's ready to go. They're ready to do some stuff. It's a little out of focus, but not too bad. 1927 to 1940s. I got a few more minutes here. This one was interesting. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like they're holding up early hockey sticks, perhaps. I don't know. This one may have a dog in their hand. This one's holding a broom. I, I'm assuming some early janky hockey, but I really don't know. That washed out is fairly accurate to how the card looks in person. If you have any thoughts, please let me know. I don't think I'll get to this one right away, but certainly we'll be able to edit it if you have some thoughts for me. But 1918 to 1930, Fort Sill, Oklahoma is written on the back, so I'll do a little investigation there, see if that helps me at all. What y'all doing upside down? All right, another, again, looks like military to me. This probably came out of the military box. Yeah, it looks like that's the stack we're in here. I don't know if they're maybe picking blueberries. It's kind of what it looks like to me. They all got a bunch of wild blueberries. This one's got some spoon, fork, and knife going on there. But certainly sort of a mess kit tent scenario going on here. Nice image. Not bad for $2. 1904 to 1918 on the back of that one. I probably picked this one up mostly because it was a buck. A little writing on the back, but man in uniform. You got the chevrons going on there. Just handsome gentleman in general. That's evergreen trees in the back. And then it says in someplace at Washington, D.C. So we got a little provenance there. Velox, 1901 to 1920s. Keeping with the military theme, they got the cross rifles here. Just a nice group shot. Handsome gentleman. This guy's being, Joker over there. 1918 to 1930 on that one. Let's see. Wood detail. Company, the seventh company, and you can see they're all carrying some wood around. He's playing around with an axe, which don't do at home. Don't recommend that. But they're carrying the wood. See the barracks in the background. Sent to Mr. Dewey. Anyways, 1918 to 1930 on that one. Got another mess scene here. You can see they all got their bowls and cups and yada 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 with the tents in the background. Doughboy or the campaign hats going on there. It's a little bit of reclining just for good measure. Not the clearest image, but not too bad. Paid $2 for this one. 1904 to 1918. All right, and then the last one we're going to do, and then I'm going to take a break so I can go to my dad's for dinner, and then we'll hit the last stack when I get back. But we got military folks here in the back of this covered Jeep, covered truck here. The writing, unfortunately, is obscured, but you can see they're holding some hats here. Everyone's happy, having a good time. 1935, Peekskill, New York, in August. And I'm sure there will be some interesting notes in that message there. You will have to wait to the rest for a couple hours when I'll film when I get back. So, alrighty, it's later the same evening. I am back from dinner with my dad and brother and a nephew. Taking a shower, watched Dorothy the Antique Nomad. I got my lovely adult beverage. So let's knock out the rest of the Dater Cottage haul. So paid $2 for this one. And here you can see we got a pair of soldiers, got their campaign hats and their pew-pews. Looks like a tent in the background there. Looks like we have a partial ID on this guy anyways. Dennis C, I think that says. Anything on the back? Something, 1908. I'm not sure. what that is. I'll see if I can figure it out later. But the 1908 does fit with the stamp box of 1904 to 1918. Sorry, I'm getting myself organized here. All right, another one. Paid $2. We got like a mess hall, breakfast, lunch, some sort of military mess situation here. Looks like World War One again. Campaign hats. Everyone's got their cups and such. Don't know what's on the menu, but 1904 to 1918 on that one. All right, this next one I like. I just like they're all kind of lounging around. He's got his gun, campaign hat there. So just a good looking group of men there. Got a little bit of condition issues, but nothing too terrible. Psycho, so 1904 to 1920s. All right, keeping with the military theme, you can tell I went into the military box at this point. Again, we got. I guess I like seeing them eating in the mess hall kind of situation. Kind of makes it feel a bit more real, or people like, I don't know. I hope you understand, but clearly they got their plates of food. The tankards there. You can see the chevrons, cool hats. See the whole sea of tents going on in the background there. So, Azo 1904 to 1918. They do have penciled in 1909 on the back. You can see some discoloration on the back here. This was clearly in an album at some point. So these would have been the album corners holding that in. All right. Military outside the train. They got their rifles here. Classic uniform. I presume it's a military train as well. Here you got the scrapbook residue on the back. Presumably 1904 to 1918 Azo or Psycho. I can't tell because that's perfectly covering the stamp box, but certainly that's the right decade. Military parade. I don't know if we're looking at a Victory Day parade or what the dealio is. You can certainly see lots of flags flying. The back has handwritten Hawaii on it. I don't see anything to my eye that would indicate it, so I have to trust that provenance, but a little bit of condition issues in the corners, but otherwise not too bad. And I think this is part of the image itself. You can see they're all marching in formation. Cycle back 1904 to 1920s. Then again, handwritten Hawaii down there at the bottom. Again, keeping with the mess hall kind of situation, we're doing dishes at dinner. Cleaning up there. Too much to say about that. Just another good working military scene. So this one would be the Azo 1918 to 1930. 2 triangles up, 2 triangles down. Paid $2 for that one. Military band or something of the sort. What, the trombone, tubas, I don't know, all the things. Trumpets, clarinets. A little different from the typical. No indication of age on the back. This one was interesting. You got a really rough looking cannon there. Not sure exactly what that is, but we might be able to sort that out. Probably help ID it. Got the number 7 there. Does have the 1918, 1930 stamp box on the back. But I don't know. I just thought it was a very interesting one there. I paid $2 for this. There's the back there. This one I like because, I mean, yeah, it's your standard doughboy campaign hat, guy with rifle, but the gal with him also holding a rifle I thought was different. You don't typically see that too often. So I like that one. I paid $1 for it. That'll definitely find a home fairly quickly, I think. 1918 to 1930 on the back there. Okay. I do not recommend this. not recommend this as a way of cutting one's hair. I mean, I suppose it'll get the job done, but yeah, doesn't seem wise. But anyways, haircut with the garden shears. Nice bench in the foreground. Little soft image, but oh, I didn't even notice the creeper in the window there. Even better. It's better and better. But yeah, for $2, I figured why not. No age indicator there, but all right. Another interesting one here. Group of men, and then they got some bull skulls, cow skulls, horn skulls, skulls. Bull by the horns, as it were. I don't know. It was interesting. A couple of the guys were smoking. Well, most of the guys were smoking. But just a little different. A little washed out, but not too bad. 1904 to 1918. All right. This one looks like it says Ice Cave. Certainly something cave. Pretty sure that's ice, but I'm not 100% sold on that first letter there. But anyways, I thought it was interesting enough from a geological perspective. Of course, you got the fine gentleman in front. It does appear to be, snowy out, cold, so perhaps I'll have to do a little bit of research on that one, but $2 for it, figured why not. 1904 to 1918. This guy, I loved the top hat. I don't come across that's all, folks. Top hats too often. And he's definitely seen some things over the years. So that all together I thought was worth the dollar. And of course, a nice round vignette. Psycho 1904 to 1920s. All right, this one had a good occupational vibe to it. It's carte postale, so it looks like a French-made card. Paris on the back. But yeah, just interesting group of gentlemen. Definitely has a sort of working class vibe. That's a big old pipe. Love the mustache. I'm not sure what the PG would be. I don't know. I just like the vibe of it. It had a good working day people look to it. Looks like I don't know, hay baler or something of the sort, perhaps. And there's the back again. You can see it says Paris there. Carte postale. This one I picked up pretty last minute. This is for me. Yeah, I paid $1 for this one, and it's Cryptozoan Ledge, and it's talking about some fossils. You can pause that if you want to read it all, but yeah, I was sort of fading out at this point, and I just grabbed a random box and was flipping through and pulled out a card and saw fossils. I'm like, okay. So this is mine. Goes in my paleo collection. Got a Defender stamp box, which puts it 1920 to 1940, I believe. Nice intimate shot here. 3 young gentlemen on a horse. Paid $2 for this one. You probably could file this under gay interest as well. But overall, nice, crisp image. Nice building in the background. No indication of age or stamp box or anything like that on the back. Express New Mexico studio portrait for $1. I try to pick up anything Mexico adjacent. This one does have obviously some image loss on the side, but overall a nice studio portrait. It's again it's a prop image and not actually going to Mexico in anything, but I figured it would still be of interest. Let's see. Oh, this is a PMO. Okay. So this one probably where's my 1907 to 1915 perhaps, but I also got the 4 triangles down, which might put it later. I don't know. This is another one. I've not seen that combination in the stamp box before. All right, and I think this is the last of the real photos, and then we just have a couple more little oddballs, and then we will wrap up. So this one, guy's obviously standing on his head. Can't say I've ever seen that in a real photo before. $2 on this one. Just different, like picking up the different. And I'm not sure if that was an attempt at an identification or just some scribbles, but here we are. This one, I paid $1 for it. I don't really know what to say about it. Just a Concert Party. 12 York Road, Rochester, and then you got some individuals of interest there. I've never seen that card before. I figured for $1, why not? Now, I think part of the reason why it was $1 is the back is atrocious, but the front still looks good, so we'll give it a try. I'm not too worried about it. And then I had a few cards that I did have to run through the flatbed, as always, because they don't go through the duplex for various reasons. In this case, it's got the glitter on it. I'm trying not to scratch glass. I like picking up the name-based cards because there's someone usually with those names, and something as generic as grandma is obviously pretty universal, and it's well done. The blue grandma glitter here is nice and clean. Got the nice pink flowers. Paid $1 for it. Is used on the back, printed in Germany. You can pause and read that if you like, but figured why not. All right, and then these last 3 cards are all made. I think it's made out of yucca wood. I think that's what it is. I'm sure it says somewhere on the back here. I've had these before, but I gave them all to my dad, so these ones will go up for sale. This is a turquoise worker, so Native American theme. There's the back there. You can pause if you want to read all of the things. That was $1. This next one was $1 also. We got the rug weaver. Beautiful colors on that one. And then last but not least, we have the Oregon Trail vibe. Yeah. And here it says on the back, yucca wood is what those were made from. So that was Data Cottage number 2. I think that was a pretty good haul. Again, that was $174 on day 2, 137 items for a total of $1.27 each cost average. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I know this was a long video, so if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share, all those normal things, but most of all, never stop exploring.